Hey guys, Alex Kahn here, and we are going to take a look at this 1/18 scale diecast, and it's official merchandise for the Fast and Furious line, but it's the Lykan Hypersport scene in the Furious 7 movie, where the team under Dom, Toretto, Brian, Hobbs, etc., go all around the world, trying to defeat the bad guys basically. But this is the Lykan Hypersport, which is actually used as a plot device. I'll explain later in a minute. But yeah, the real version of this car, it cost $3.4 million, but I was lucky enough to get this diecast for only $40. But let's go ahead and take this out of the box. It's mint condition, and it's got a lot of weight to it, very, very heavy, so let's take it out. Gotta cut the tape. They never just slide it. Oh yeah, they do. I like the case for this. Alright guys, before I put this on the spinner, let's go ahead and open up the doors. And I was looking up the name of this door style, and people are just labeling them as suicide doors, but suicide doors open completely out. This one opens, backwards and upwards at an angle, so I feel like it's not really a suicide door, but I guess for lack of a better term, we'll call it a suicide door. And this whole thing opens up, this whole back. Ooh, it's beautiful. For a $40 model, this is beautiful. And then this wing opens up too. I don't know if it's a wing or more of a flap. It's pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and leave this one open. And then we can open up the hood. There we go. Now this is a rear engine car, so you're not going to see the engine in the front. So let's go ahead and put this bad boy on the spinner. This car was actually used as a plot device in the Furious 7 movie. So in Furious 7, the team under Dom Toretto are being hunted down by Deckard Shaw, played by Jason Statham. And if you guys don't remember Fast and Furious 6, they had this quarrel with Owen Shaw. So Deckard Shaw is basically Owen Shaw's older, meaner brother, and he is quite a rough opponent in any kind of situation. But in order to beat Deckard Shaw, the team learns that they need to find this device called the God's Eye, and the God's Eye basically lets them track any human on the planet. So in order to get this device, they first need the help of this computer expert girl, and when they finally do rescue this girl, they find out from this girl that she sent the God's Eye device to her friend in the Middle East. And so they all take a trip out to the Middle East, and that's where they find out that the girl's, the computer expert's friend sold the device to a local prince. And the local prince actually used the God's Eye device for his Lykan Hypersport. So they basically had to break into this guy's party, find the God's Eye device inside this car, and that's how they plan to take down Deckard Shaw. The problem here is they can't get the device out of this car, and that's when Deckard Shaw comes in shooting up the place. So Dom Toretto and Brian, they take this car on a joyride, which basically ends up with this car smashing through 3 different buildings. And this is like way up in altitude, so it was kind of funny. Brian was saying, Dom, cars don't fly, but that's what happens with this car. Now it's kind of curious, with all the cars that they use on Fast and Furious, even though this wasn't a real car that was used in the movie, I mean not a real hypersport, this is still considered the most expensive car ever used on Fast and Furious. Again, the actual price would be about $3.4 million, which is an obscene amount of money for a single piece of transportation. So let's go ahead and close this all up for a second so that you can see what it looks like a little bit better. Let's raise the wing. I mean, yeah, this windbreaker, speed, flap, whatever you want to call it. That's pretty cool, actually. But yeah, they crash this through 3 different buildings. This car gets absolutely trashed at the end of all that smashing through buildings. But in the end, they do get the God's device, and they are able to track down Deckard Shaw. But this is a sweet looking car. Now, this wasn't my favorite car in the movie, but I think this is a very distinctive car. I mean, it's based on a real car. The real car was made by W Motors, which is the first indigenously produced and designed sports car from the Middle East. W Motors is a Lebanese company, and this is quite the sports car. They only made 7 of these, and they all sold out. So I'm wondering, why didn't they make like 20 of these? They could have made a lot more money. Because I'm sure there's a bunch of, I'm sure there's at least 20 billionaires in the world who would have bought this car. But yeah, for the movie, W Motors made a cheaper version of this car, one that could be smashed. So they made 10 of these with the same exact mold as the real Hypersport, and they let those get slaughtered. And I think one of them was actually left in W Motors as a display piece. But very cool and unique design on this. Now we can talk about the interior a little bit, because there's something really cool about the interior. So let me see if I can see it. It's hard to see, but supposedly in the center console, this car has a holographic interactive display where you don't even touch the console. You put your hand on it, and then you just move your fingers, and then the holographic console will respond to your commands. So it's pretty awesome. And aside from that, there isn't really anything else to talk about inside the interior. I think the seats are all custom W Motors made. And as for the engine, let's pop this engine open. Again, it's a rear-wheel drive car with the rear engine. So, well, you can't really see it in here. But this car makes use of a Porsche-designed turbocharged flat 6 engine. And this car is capable of, I forgot the top speed. It was something like 265 miles per hour top speed, or 245, I forgot. But apparently this car can reach a 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. Why do you need to go that fast? I don't know, because if you did that, you would get thrown in jail so fast. Well, no, not. You wouldn't get thrown in jail for going 0 to 60 in that time, but going over 200 miles per hour will get you in jail. But there's really no reason to be going 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. I just can't see that as a practical use. But it's still a really fantastic looking car. I don't really know what else to talk about. Oh, yeah. These headlights, they are decked out in apparently hundreds of diamonds decked out all around the headlights. And there's jewels scattered throughout the rest of the car. So this is a crazy, obscene, expensive car with jewels inside. It's got these pretty unique L-shaped taillights. Seems to be carbon fiber all around this car. And something that also is pretty cool. If you look on the roof here, look at that. It doesn't look like a practical sunroof, but it's cool. It's cool style. Like, I don't think it's meant to be a sunroof, but it does add some, natural lighting inside the cabin. All right. So yeah, again, this was, I don't want to say it was made popular by Furious 7, but I think this car was made popular by Furious 7 because I had no idea about this car until I watched the movie. And then after digging in, researching this car more, I found out that this car was actually first debuted in Qatar at the 2013 Qatar, I forgot, it was some kind of motor show. So you can argue that back in 2013, this car was a true Qatar hero. And yes, my jokes do not get any better than that. That's about as good as they come. But yeah, the movie came out in 2015. So they made pretty darn good use of this supercar, or would you call it a hypercar? I don't know. Because I think it does play a unique and pivotal role in the Fast and Furious franchise. But it would have been cool to see it drive a bit more, because you only see it drive in that little confined room, and then Deckard Shaw starts shooting at it with his gun, and then you see this car like fly through 3 different buildings. But it would have been cool to see this drive on the road, because in the movie, when it does get on the road, it's like this.